Multiversus was probably the most successful yet biggest failure of an open beta game I've ever seen. With the relaunch of the game just a few days away now, I thought it would be the perfect time to talk about Multiversus and the real truth behind the relaunch of the game. And what better way to do that than to start from the start. Don't worry, I won't be giving you a history lesson on Multiversus, kinda just to get you up to speed and also to make the timeline of this video make sense. So Multiversus launched in the summer of 2022, hitting its all-time peak of over 150,000 concurrent players, which is insane, especially when you counter in the fact that this game launched as a beta, so not as a finished product. As a beta, it had over 150,000 concurrent players. Unlike you, this had me on lock. I was grinding the absolute life out of this game. Any spare time I had, it was dedicated to this game. However, it doesn't take a genius to look at a few of these graphs or just playing the game that you'll find out the game become not only very stale, but also lost a lot of its player base very quickly. Like within just a few months, it was down to just a couple of thousand players. And in my opinion, this can be boiled down to two main things: lack of content, as well as getting kind of seemed like a bit of a cash grab pretty quick. Considering it was only in beta, there was a lot of cosmetic items, battle passes that you could only obtain if you was to buy in-game currency. And with the game having a bigger downfall than my academic grades this year, the developers kind of just sacked it off and pulled the game from live services, meaning that no one would be able to play the game until they decided to relaunch it. That being on the 28th of May, the game is going to officially come out of beta and launch again. However, I do have a few concerns for this game as it gets relaunched. The first, of course, being maps and updates. Although we've seen a lot of content teased and leaked for the game's comeback, I'm just unsure whether they'll be able to find a good consistent update pattern, as when the game was in beta, it seemed like it was pretty much fully out. It was out for a good couple of months, yet we wasn't getting any good content or anything to keep players engaged. And like trying to find that pattern of keeping the game fresh and not trying to get stale, but not overdoing it and just putting like stupid maps, making them really bland, kind of the same to the point where we have too many. I feel like that's a hard balance to try and get. Like when that game was first coming out, I really did love the development team, and I still do now. Like the transparency they have with the player base and the communication is probably one of the best I've seen from a bigger title in a long time. So I do have a lot of faith that they will be able to do it and listen to the players' feedback. And this argument also goes for the same with characters. I know we've seen quite a lot leaked and also a lot in the trailer. I'm just hoping that they have a good way to get these characters into the game and a good launch pattern, so we don't have to be waiting like once every 3 months to get a new character. And I hope that they all know you have to buy them to enter. I hope there's a way to get them inside the game, so it's not constantly paying to win. And that's my final concern with the game, is the microtransactions. I'm really hoping that they find a balance with these microtransactions. I'm fine with paying for cosmetics, but I want a way to earn characters within the game so you don't have to pay for them, or they don't overdo with the cosmetics and purchases inside the game. I feel like that would be a real ruiner. I don't want the game to turn to a pay to win. I understand that it is a free title, so obviously there has to be some transactions in the game, but those are my only concerns with the game. The rest of it I'm pretty happy with. I think a lot of people haven't been listening or seen what Multiversus has been pouring out, and if you're not excited for this game, I don't know what to say. You must have been missing the whole Multiversus stuff, because this game looks unreal. With at least 4 characters being confirmed to come into the game, 2 new maps, the game looks unreal with this new engine that they've built it on. The gameplay looks really slick and really smooth. With rumors coming that they're going to be adding Asian servers, I can only see this game being very successful. And with characters like Jason and even Banana Guard coming to the game, Banana Guard especially has got me really excited, because the idea of having jokey characters in this game has just filled me with pure excitement. It's all cool having all these other characters, but characters that kind of seems like a bit of a meme, bit of a joke. I really do like that. Now I saw a lot of negative feedback about Twitter on this, saying how the game's going to be shut down in 5 months if they keep moves up like this. I don't think so. I think having memey characters in your game is what's going to make it special, and you don't want it to be this highly competitive scene. Well, you kind of do want that, but you also want to have people just like me and you, casuals, peer runs, anything like that, where people could just pick up the game, play the game, and still have an enjoyable experience. It doesn't always have to be about frames and getting competitive and making sure you have the best loadout character. I think having a casual scene is equally as important as having a competitive scene. And one last thing on Banana Guard, there was a lot of people saying it was a wasted slot to add Banana Guard. I don't really know what people were on about. I think people were so fixated on the fact they're only going to add like a certain amount of characters that they just thought this was a wasted slot, completely forgetting the fact that this is a live service game. More characters are going to get added, hopefully, within due time. And I feel like it would make more sense to add Banana Guard now than to add it like 3 months down in the line where it's just a random Banana Guard. I feel like having him at launch is way much of a better idea than to add him later on. But with that being said, guys, I'm super excited for the release of Multiversus. I'm looking at the current players now, and there's been an upward trend of more players being on Multiversus now, and the game's not even relaunched yet. It's just around the corner. Make sure you subscribe. I'll be streaming Multiversus all day for the first 3 days that it's come out, and then I'll be going into every other day, so make sure you stay tuned for that, and I'll catch you in the next one in a bit.